Well, welcome to the Money Tip Podcast presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joe Sengel. We're committed each and every Monday to help you with some helpful tips to help you live your fully funded life. I hope a happy Monday to each of you. We're on episode, a special number, one that's easy to remember. Episode number?
321.
321. And that is the voice of Megan Hibbard, my co-host. Are you fired up today on episode 321?
We're going to go in 321.
3, 2, 1, go. What are we going to talk about today?
Yep. Today we are talking about the ultimate guide to Roth IRA contribution limits.
Get
excited.
Yeah, for 2024, it's the ultimate guide to contribution limits. And that's very exciting. It's something that is interesting that happens year over year is the IRS is able to make adjustments to what you are allowed to contribute. They're not always passed through an act of Congress. Sometimes Congress will give some freedom to the IRS to interpret law and to make adjustments based upon cost of living, inflation, and such. And this year, they did change how much we're able to contribute to IRAs. Now, we're talking about Roth IRAs. This applies to IRAs as well, regular IRAs, traditional IRAs. IRA, again, stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement. And so it's an arrangement. Of course, when they're hosted by banks, they'll call them individual retirement accounts. But we're going to talk about maxing them out. And if this year you're able to contribute to an IRA or a Roth IRA $7,000. So that's up by $500 from the previous year. And if you're 50 or older, which applies to me now, you're able to do $1,000 a year catch up. So catch up. That's what the tomato said to her baby when she got smashed, catch up. Something like that. It's a bad joke. But anyhow, catch up instead of catch up.
Smashing babies.
Yeah, it was a baby tomato. It was just a baby tomato. Okay, so $7,000. If you contributed $7,000 every year, so what is that divided by 12? It's less than $600 a month. It's like $583.33. People can fact check me on math. I'm making it up. But it's somewhere around there. I think I'm right. I am right. $583.33.
Don't tell them you're making it up.
In 10 years, 8% annual return. Well, what do you want me to do? Lie? 8% annual return. Well, that would be worth what after 10 years?
Yep. So 106,658.
106,000. Get fired up. So 7,000 times 10 years is 70,000, but it'd be worth 36,000 more than that because of growth, of compound interest. So this is invested in S&P 500 index fund, dividend-paying stocks, mutual funds, and the like. Could be in real estate, but having a Roth IRA that holds real estate is harder. Okay? So Roth IRA, we're talking about in general, this money is invested in stocks, mutual funds, bonds, and the like. Now, if you did that $7,000 a year for 20 years, what would it be worth at 8% annual growth?
At 8% growth, it would be worth $343,399.
Wow. And so now let's do 20 years times 7. That's $140,000 in there, but you have $203 extra $1,000.
That's wild.
Time value of money. Albert Einstein says the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest, 30 years. Well, you would have put $210,000 in there, and it'd be worth how much?
8,000. Nope. 860. If it was only worth 8,000, there would be a big problem. 868, 880.
868,000. You're bumping near $1 million. And if you got a 9% annual return, probably going to be $1 million. After 40 years, you'll have put a little over $250,000 in there, which let's all agree, $250,000 would be awesome. $280,000. $7,000 a year for 40 years. So all you under 30 somethings, pay attention. Okay? And that would be worth what?
$2,035,258.
Get fired up.
$2 million. And you said you put how much in?
$280,000. So it's kind of like the 10X factor happened. It's like 10X. Pretty amazing. And so it's just something really extraordinary to think about, that when you contribute money to your Roth IRA, these dollars are going to grow free of taxes. As long as they're in this special arrangement, the government will not tax any growth. These dollars will have already been taxed. You can't deduct them from your taxes in the year you contribute them. And they grow free of taxes. And this is something really important, that at age 73 right now, as the time we record this podcast, People who have money in taxable accounts, 401k accounts, the accounts that have never been taxed, regular IRA accounts, will be subject to something called RMDs. Do you know what RMDs stand for? This is Stump Megan.
I can try to guess something.
Guess what an RMD sounds like. And those of you listening, kind of guess, what do you think an RMD? I'll give you the first word. Required.
My head is like research, and I'm like, our producer wrote in ratio of mass destruction.
Our producer says it's ratio of mass destruction. I'm pretty sure you didn't think of that.
I did not think of that. What
required?
Required minimum distribution.
Oh, come on. She just pulled it out. The RMD is a required minimum distribution. Everybody applaud for Megan.
Sometimes the things just start clicking.
Required minimum distributions are where the government forces the distribution of a certain percentage or portion of those never taxed funds, 401k and regular IRA, generally equal to about 4 to 5% of the balance. So say you've accrued $1 million in your 401k, that's going to be somewhere around $40,000 to $50,000 a year that we'll have to pull out, get taxed. Now here's the big deal. Roth IRA, not subject to RMDs ever, never required to be pulled out for taxation. When you do pull it out at your own choosing, there are no taxes due on it. Even with all of that growth, you've put in $280,000, now it's $2 million, no taxes.
Wow.
So what the beautiful thing about a Roth IRA is you pay the taxes today when you know what the tax rate is, whatever your tax rate is. You don't know what will happen with your personal tax rate in the future. Of course, most of us believe taxes will go up, but maybe your personal tax rate will go down because your earned income production a lot of times in retirement drops pretty dramatically. And now you're living on unearned income sources, dividend income, rental income, business income. And so this allows you to preserve your dollars. And when you look at your account, whatever's in there, that's all yours. You don't have to do this math that says, well, a quarter of that's going to go to the tax man. So it's awesome. So we really encourage you to max it out. Now, one thing that we want you to think about is we have $7,000 in here and we're doing the math on here. The government reassesses how much you're allowed to contribute each and every year. Some years they hold pat. I don't know why they call that. They stand pat. Do you know what that means? That means they keep it even. They don't change. It's kind of I just realized it's one of those things that makes the English language hard. But you stand pat. I'd love to know where that phrase came from. They keep things even, keep things the same. Other years, they bump it up. I've never seen a year where they bumped it down, where they lowered how much you're able to contribute.
Interesting.
What's interesting is you can only contribute to a Roth IRA up to the $7,000 or the $8,000 if you're 50 or older, if you have that much in earned income. Okay? So if you only had $4,000 in earned income in the previous year, you can only contribute $4,000. And a lot of people are like, well, how could I do that? Well, a lot of parents do this for their children. As their children earn income, as they're 16, they earn $3,000. The parents can throw $3,000 into that kid's Roth IRA because they earn $3,000.
Yeah.
And that gets them started on this time value of money earlier. Really powerful.
That's powerful.
Roth IRA money can be used for first-time home purchases. And that's something really important to think about as well. One other thing to think about with a Roth IRA is we've got $7,000 a year in here. Listen, 20 years from now, it might be $14,000 a year. So it can adjust over time. We just kept it at $7,000. And so I encourage you, do some math, think about it. Are you maxing out your Roth IRA? It's a huge part of a vital, fully funded life strategy, particularly when you achieve rung number 6 and you're achieving rung number 8. This is when this really comes into play on the fully funded life ladder. And we really want to help you be able to do it. It's an essential part of your fully funded life ladder experience so that you can live to and through your retirement years fully funded. Any last thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, it's wild to think about. I mean, thinking through all of the things that you shared about the Roth IRA or IRAs in general, about the taxing versus not taxing. Like, it's really kind of like a game you're playing in your head of like, okay, which route am I going to go? But I feel like so many benefits of it. Why wouldn't you do it? Like,
Right.
we can include this screen that we have of the numbers that we're reading off. But when you look at that versus, which we should make another one that shows what you actually put in so you can see the difference.
Yeah.
Because that would be really helpful, I feel like. But when you're thinking about it and you're thinking, oh, well, I'm too young to invest, so I'm not going to. And then you look at that number, the $2 million versus what you're putting in, it's wild. I mean, who doesn't want to walk away with $2 million in 40 years?
Sign me up.
Yeah.
And you know what's awesome? Is I started investing when I was 22. I'm 50. So I'm at 28 years. And I can say all these numbers are real.
Yeah.
And anybody who's contributed consistently over time knows that these numbers are real. The only people that want to argue with these numbers are people who have not participated in it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want you to participate in it. So, hey, hopefully this has been helpful to you. Are you contributing in a way to max out your Roth IRA this year? What decisions you need to make to be able to do so? Can your spouse contribute? Yes. And so make sure that you're taking advantage of this unbelievable way to help build wealth and secure your future fully funded life. Hey, we'll see you next Monday with another helpful Monday Money Tip podcast. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for being a part of the podcast. Hey, thanks for watching this video. There's a lot more content on our website. We got a few of them linked right here, and we got a subscription link as well. We would be so honored if you would click that like and subscribe button and go learn some additional stuff so that you can live your fully funded life.